Hello, Hector. How are you? Dr. Lopez.
Hi.
Hi. Thank you for coming today. Um, so I was actually referred to you by Dr. Hernandez, and I understand that you see Dr. Hernandez for your physical therapy. Is that right?
Right.
Okay. Okay. Um, yeah, and he mentioned to me that you had shared with him during your physical therapy that um, recently you were maybe because of the accident that you had, that you were kind of lacking some motivation, and he became a little bit concerned because you also shared that due to the accident that you're physically unable now to do your primary work, which is construction. Is that correct?
That's right, correct.
Okay. Um, and so he mentioned to me on his report that you were also actually, because you're not working situation, that you actually increased drinking alcohol and just pretty much staying at home. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Report? Okay. Can you maybe just share a little bit about so based on Dr. Hernandez's report, maybe kind of what happened with the accident? And
Yeah, I got into an accident 5 months ago, and I was at the hospital for 4 months.
Sorry to hear that. Yeah.
And my hips and my leg is permanently damaged. So I need a cane.
Oh, so that's why you do the physical therapy.
Yeah.
I see.
And then my shoulder and my arm, so I can lift things.
I see. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so I see you completed the questionnaire here. Just take a look. First of all, I just wanted to share also that in a way I can understand what you're going through, because my father, he was actually born with the shorter right hand, and so while I experienced this growing up as a youth with my father, but while a lot of his friends were, getting certain kinds of jobs, my father was really limited in the kinds of jobs that he could do um, because of his shorter arm. So I, in a way, like I experienced a lot of the trauma that he went through. But he ended up becoming, so he wasn't able to use his right arm, but luckily he knew both English and Spanish. So he actually was a translator. And so that was his career growing up.
I see.
Yeah. So he just reminded me of that. On your questionnaire here, so these are just some basic questions that we ask just to kind of get a feel for like your current alcohol consumption, because we want to first identify if you're at risk for substance abuse. And so we want to try to avoid that. So when you said, how often do you have a drink, alcoholic drink? You place down 4 or more times a week. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And then is there any particular, like just wine or beer or?
Just beer.
So this is when, so you're not working. So are you just mostly at home then? Kind of.
Yeah.
I see. And then so you just grab a beer to relax.
Yeah.
Okay, during the day. Okay. And so you place down like how many drinks you have in a typical day on average, and you said 3 to 4.
Yeah.
Okay, 3 to 4. So what else do you do during the day?
No, that's
just
there's
kind
not that much things to do because
I see.
Work. I don't know where can I work.
Right.
So
yeah,
just watch TV all day.
I understand. So if you look at this graph here, for male your age on average, it says that the average alcohol consumption recommended to not exceed like 2 per day on average before you become like at risk. So how long would you say like you've been having like 3 to 4 drinks per day? How long has it been?
Just 1 month. I came back from
Okay,
hospital.
I see. I see. Okay. Yeah. So you shared about the accident, which is physically kind of left you impaired, and so you your primary career was construction, and so you're not able to do construction. Would you say that that's kind of one of the reasons why maybe you increased your alcohol consumption? How does that kind of, can you share about how that kind of makes you feel? Yeah.
Yeah, because I have nothing to do, and I don't know where I can work because I didn't work anywhere. So
Yeah.
I don't know what to. There's no interest. Just watch TV.
And do you feel like I said, like when I shared about my father, who he really had a kind of a hurt sense of pride at first, because you know we're both Hispanic, so you know how in our culture, typically like the expectation is that the man or the spouse or head of the household will be the primary breadwinner, you know, earner for the family. So would you say that that was a sense of you know, your pride being hurt because of that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And would you say that that's true? Because you mentioned that you hurt your hip and so you're limping.
Yeah.
But the most important thing is your arm. Is you can't really use your right arm.
No,
Yeah.
actually, I cannot lift heavy things.
We can't lift heavy things. I see. I see. Okay. Yeah, that's not definitely not an easy thing to live with, particularly if it's going to affect rest of your life. So tell me a little bit about talk a little about how this has affected your family. Since you're married and you also have kids too. So can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah. So I cannot work. So my wife has to work. I don't know how we're gonna live.
I see. Yeah, so the financial is definitely a concern now.
Yeah. I don't. So.
Yeah, so I imagine you have, it's compounding stress, right? You can't, you personally, because you can't use your arm now, and you know, construction was your main business, so you can't really do that now because you can't lift heavy items, and now you have this financial burden because you don't want your wife to work, and so this has been affecting your relationship then with your kids as well. Okay. Yeah. So I can understand definitely that you have this stress added on and on and on, and you know, it happens to everybody. It seems like, oh, when something goes wrong, that even more happens, and it just keeps getting worse and worse. So I've been there too. So I wanted to see. Then would you say then that's really the reason why you started the increased drinking, is just because of the stress?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I don't know what else I can do.
Yeah.
I'm angry all the time.
Mm-hmm. Um, I wanted to see if we could take a step back a little bit, and if you could reflect on maybe let's go back before the accident. So there was some times in your life that you felt was very positive aspects of your life that you felt you were doing pretty well. And so I understand that you're bilingual. So if you can take the current physical impairment out of the picture, what would you say are some positive things about you that worked well, or you felt that you were
I was,
kind of proud of maybe before the
yeah, I
accident?
worked
Yeah.
hard, you
Mm.
know, I was strong, healthy,
Yeah.
I was never sick.
Hmm.
So I worked in the construction since high school.
I see. I see.
I supported my family since high school.
Right. Right.
So I'm proud of myself doing that.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, the Hispanic community, we have that sense of pride, right? And it's really strong with this father figure has to be the main provider for the family. So um, if you can think upon that, the fact that you were, so what I'm hearing is that before the accident, you were physically strong and you were energetic. You loved what you did, and you obviously you worked hard because, would you say that it was because of sense of your self pride, but also because of your family?
Yeah,
Okay. So you love your family, obviously, but you also shared that recently the family relations has been affected because of the increased
yeah,
drinking. Yeah.
because I'm angry all the time.
Hmm. Hmm. If we could try to work out a way where a plan where um, if we could focus on the positive aspects of yourself that you just shared before the accident. The accident happened on this timeline here. The accident happened, and there's nothing that we can really change about the current physical impairment. It is what it is. Until medical technology gets to a point where maybe we can have robotic arm or cybernetic arm, it's not really like that right now. But at the same time, construction isn't the only thing that we can do, right? That's not the only career. So I wonder if, because you also shared that you still very much care for your family, but it's really because of this triggering unexpected accident that happened that everything just started to spiral down. And you also shared that it's not really my physical impairment, but just the fact that I can't do what I need to do to provide for the family. Would you say that that's the main reason why you're hurt?
Yeah,
Yeah. So if we can come up with a plan to maybe try to find ways where you can find maybe other activities or ways to work without having to do heavy lifting, would you be open to
yeah,
exploring something like that?
yeah.
Okay. Would you say that if we could find an activity for you to do, or even a line of work, um, that this, and that you enjoyed it and you can do it? I don't know what that would be, but if you could find something that you could do and enjoy, um, focusing on your previous, I don't think that's disappeared or gone anywhere. It's still there. But if you can find this new activity, do you think that would be kind of motivation for you to reduce the drinking? Because based on your questionnaire, I can tell you that you're at risk for SUD, substance abuse addiction. So I'd like to make a recommendation that you start to reduce the consumption. But I think the impetus could be if you find something that you really can keep yourself active and have a career, would you be open to that? And do you think that would help reduce your alcohol consumption? Okay. So maybe if you're open to it, um, do you think you would want to make a plan or take steps to pursue that right now, to find something for you to do occupationally? Or would you be motivated to start looking? Okay, great. So I think I'd like to, you shared that you're keeping an open mind, and you shared that you have a desire to stop because it's affecting your family relation. That's why you worked hard in the first place for them. And so that hasn't really changed. I feel like this is more of a sense of pride for you and sense of self-worth and achievement, that you need to find a new kind of career that doesn't require the heavy lifting. So my recommendation is that I'm going to recommend you to occupational therapists. Occupational therapist job is to kind of work you through trying to find some activities and occupations that you can do to keep yourself occupied. Yeah. And what do you think about that? Would you be open to listening to them? Okay, sounds good. So I'm going to go ahead and refer you to Dr. Chan, who's at Sandbox Therapy. And Sandbox Therapy, they're in Redmond. They specialize in occupational therapy. So I'm going to make a recommendation, give you a recommendation letter to Dr. Chan, and then they can work with you to go through that process. So is that something that you think you would like to start right away? Yeah. Okay, sounds good. Then if they can help you find something, can you and I, are you open to working with me and them to have a plan to, first of all, to have a goal to find an occupation suitable for you, and secondly, to start to reduce your alcohol consumption. And then number 3 is to maybe we can have a family therapy session where we have group family therapy, and then we have open discussion, and then I can moderate that. So kind of these 3 goals. Is that something that we can partner and commit to together? Okay, willing to do that? Okay, great. I think you made a huge first step, and most important is your attitude and your heart. So I want to commend you for recognizing that and making an effort, and then agreeing to take steps to get better. I think that's a huge first step. So thank you for your time. And again, I really am proud of you for admitting that and acknowledging that, and then desiring to make a change. That's the first big step. So we've crossed that already. So let's make a plan now, and then let's take steps to get there. Does that sound okay to you? Yeah. Okay. So next step is I'm going to make a recommendation letter to Dr. Chan at Sandbox Therapy, occupational therapist. And then I'm going to schedule, can we schedule another follow-up maybe 1 month later to do a checkup? And then depending on how that your therapy session goes with Dr. Chan for occupational therapy, then on our next follow-up here, I'd like to see if, let me reach out to your wife and your kids to see if we can have a family therapy session. And then let's see where we are. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Does that sound okay to you? Yeah. Okay. Well, did you have anything else, questions for me, or anything you wanted to share? Or okay. Well, thank you again, and congratulations for taking that first big step. And I want to let you know that I'm proud of you, and that we're with you all the way. So let's let's follow that plan. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you for your time, Hector. Yeah. I'll see you. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.